Hi, John McElroy here talking all things automotive, and today let's talk about sound systems in cars. Because most people listen to music in their cars more than anywhere else. And a killer sound system can actually attract car buyers to one car brand over another. That's why Cadillac is pushing to have the best sound system in the market. It's working with Dolby and with AKG to come up with an immersive sound system better than any other car. John Coburn, the chief engineer on the Cadillac Optic, explains how it all started.
You know, it was a short time ago, Dolby did a conference and invited myself and AKG to attend this conference, and it was about Atmos and what was going on in the music industry. And we heard a few tracks that had been remixed into Atmos and some new stuff that was in Atmos, and it was goosebumps. And we have to recreate this experience. And before we just start doing that, we need to understand the creative process. So we actually visited recording studios and met recording engineers, met with studio engineers and artists about what's the creative process that you go through? What is it you're trying to do? What is it that makes your art so incredibly good? And they taught us about 7.1.4, 7 surround channels, 4 height channels, and .1 is a subwoofer. And that's key and important to creating art in a studio. So our North Star became, we have to recreate the studio. We have to translate what's happening in the studio into the car. And in order to do that, we needed to have fidelity of speakers. We put a 25-volt rail in the system. We reconfigured the whole data system in the vehicle, and we placed those speakers in the places that they have to be for fidelity to recreate that studio experience. So we really had to pause and reset on the vehicle and our strategy. Now, we had a great foundation to build on already. We were already planning a stereo system in the vehicle with AKG, so we had a solid foundation. But we took it further in terms of going to the studios, meeting with the studios, and understanding what was truly important in terms of translating the studio to the car. And that's how.
You really had to engineer the interior of the car around the sound system.
We did. And there's a lot else that goes into designing the interiors. There's the aesthetics. There's all of the safety requirements and the airbags and everything else that we designed into the system. All of the reach profiles that we have to accommodate. All of the storage in there, the intuitive storage that's throughout the vehicle. So incorporating all of that and designing it around the sound system, because the sound system is incredibly important when you're on that road trip or you're just reminiscing about your life, because it's so personal music.
You may have already experienced Dolby ATMOS in movie theaters, and today almost every musician or band or group is recording in Dolby ATMOS. What makes it so attractive to artists and producers is that it gives them far more freedom to locate where you're going to hear musical instruments or vocals. It's not just left or right channel anymore. It's truly immersive, with different sounds coming in from different places. They call it object-based placement. Christine Thomas, head of industry relations at Dolby, explains why artists love it.
With Dolby Atmos, you can use the entire space, the entire environment, whether you're in a living room or whether you're in a car, more specifically, whether the mixer, the creative, the artist wants to place you in the living room or in the car. And when they want to place you in that space, if they choose to have you sit on the sofa with the artist or appreciate that artist in a concert space, they may choose to place the guitar here, the drum here, the vocal here. When you enjoy that experience, when you listen to that incredible music, you want to feel that guitar here, that drum here, that vocal here, as the artist and the creative intended. And it's the promise of that Dolby is delivering across the ecosystem.
Cadillac's not the first to offer Dolby ATMOS. Mercedes, Rivian, and Lucid already have it available as an option. But Cadillac is going to make it available across its entire lineup. It's already standard equipment on the Optic, and it'll be available on most models with an over-the-air update. Cadillac's exclusive audio partner is AKG, and Marty Shade, the customer manager for acoustics at AKG, explains how Dolby Atmos 7.1.4 was integrated into the Cadillac optic.
In this vehicle that I'm sitting in, there are 3 speakers across the front with bass supporting speakers. There are 2 in the sides, there are 2 in the rears, so there's your 7. The 0.1 is the bass that surrounds, and then the 0.4, there are 4 headliner speakers in this vehicle. So we accurately match the 7.1.4 architecture that is the minimum required to accurately reproduce Dolby.
But it could be more than that, right?
Absolutely. Some of our other vehicles have far more speakers, up to 42, but that's actual speaker count. You're still based on channel count. So maybe you have the front left signal that's played on multiple speakers, but it's still the front left signal that's played on those that are in that quadrant.
So what's the value? I mean, when you say placing the instruments and all that, go into that. What's that all mean?
Well, we want to accurately reproduce Dolby. And so this is a vehicle. It's obviously not a room. That's the best place you can be, where you can put speakers wherever you want. It doesn't matter how big they are. It's very large space. This is a small confined space where we have to put things in specific locations. So we do our best to put them in the best possible locations to reproduce the sound. These particular speakers are high and near the glass, but they also have a lens on them. So we're not relying on the bounce off the windshield. Instead, the lens takes the tweeters and makes it radially out from the speaker. And so we have the 3 across the front that are high and even. The sides are accurately placed. And then on top of that, we have all of our software that allows us to delay speakers, time-aligned speakers, equalize speakers, level match speakers, all of those things. Because again, you're not in a room where you're sitting in the sweet spot and every speaker is equal distant from you. That's just not possible in a car. So we do the best we can with physical placement as well as technology to make it work.
Now, you've really gone to great lengths to recreate the sound of a recording studio inside this Cadillac. How do you do that? What kind of things do you go to tune this thing?
Well, again, we've got a very sophisticated software in our amplifier, very sophisticated signal stream that has delays, phase alignment, time alignment, levels, EQs, matrix mixers, all of these different technologies that we have in the signal stream that allows us to take each speaker and time align it to this location and make them all work together for each seat so that you get the best possible sound.
Cadillac puts so much effort into recreating a recording studio inside its cars because it believes it can give the brand a competitive advantage.
Oh, it's of paramount importance. We have a long history of being associated with music, of being high fidelity. We were the first brand to actually introduce branded audio back in, I think it was in '83, Seville. So it's of paramount importance to Cadillac that we deliver an authentic studio experience in the Cadillacs.
Talking about Dolby Atmos 7.1.4 just doesn't do it justice. The only way you can truly appreciate how much better it sounds is to get in a car that has it and listen to some of your favorite music.